Hi guys, this is Skribent again with another pen review, and today we are going to have a look at a German pen. It's not an Army, it's not a Mont Blanc, it's certainly also not a Pelikan, but it's a pen called Cleo. Cleo is a German pen manufacturer set that is a little, less well known for reasons that are not exactly apparent to me. Maybe it's the marketing efforts or whatsoever. They do, however, make quite nice pens, which is why I'm really glad that I finally bring one of their sort of entry-level pens here to the blog to Skribent with a review. The pen that I'm having here is called Cleo Classic. This here is the one in gold, and I'm going to look at the pen in a minute. I also got that pen sent by Cleo. I also got a little catalog sent here, and because that manufacturer that lays in Germany somewhere on the way between Berlin and Hamburg, because the manufacturer is not that well known, I thought I'll just flip through that catalog real quick to give you a short impression of the pens that they make. It's quite a range, nice nibs in my opinion. It's quite a range of pens that they make. A pretty colorful one here. And then the classic, this one here is the Palladium. It also comes in metal. As said, I have the one in gold here. Let's have a look at the packaging here real quick. The classic gold. Kolbenfüllhalter, which means piston filling fountain pen. So this is a piston filler with a fine nib, and in schwarz, which means black. A white cardboard sleeve. Slide that out and get a black sort of Fox leather box saying Cleo Skribent with the Cleo logo on here. Open that box up. As said, fine 14 karat gold nib, and then you can take that out and you get a booklet with a little bit of information. I'll just do it like that so you can pause the video and read that for yourself if you would wish to do so. Filling instructions. That here seems to me that you don't only have to immerse the pen a little bit beyond the breather hole, such as with sailor pens, for instance. I've not tried that. I just see that right now myself. Should have maybe done my homework better. And a pretty cool thing that I wanted to point out, you get a lifetime warranty on that pen, saying whatever there is on the pen, you get it replaced free of charge. Pretty cool. The pen, by the way, does cost on the Cleo webshop €200, which for a fountain pen with a 14 karat gold nib is not too bad. It's not really inexpensive, but it's also not really out of the ballpark, I would say. But I'd recommend you to have a look at, because I think this Cleo Skribent website, which is www.cleo-skribent.de. I think it's not entirely in English, so if you're interested in those pens and you're not, your command of the German language is maybe not very fluent, then I recommend you to Google for Right Here pens in the UK. They carry Cleo as well, and there you get that pen here for £155, which is something around €175, which is less than €205, whatever the pen retails for on the Cleo Skribent website. I don't know where that price difference comes from, but I thought I'll point it out to you. The pen itself, as said, this here is the classic gold in black, that is also available in white and in a Bordeaux, is not really a cigar-shaped fountain pen. It is also not really a flat top fountain pen, but something in between. We have a nice finial up here, the red Cleo C logo under sort of a transparent plastic cap thing here, which is set into a gold ring. We then have a clip here that is also gold. That clip, by the way, is unfortunately the least favorite part of for me on that pen, because it does not exactly flare out down here, as you can see, and under here it's a little bit sharp. When I go under it with my nail right here, that even pains me a little bit under the nail bed. And it also is not really easy to slide that clip into a shirt pouch or into a pen pocket. When I want to slide that pen into my pen pocket, I always have to lift it up like that so that it really slides in, because it doesn't flare out enough. Which, as said, just pains me under the nail here. So I always have to sort of lift it up like that, which is a bit uncomfortable. The clip is springy. It would be usable, but I'd make that clip flare out just a wee little bit and make that down here a little bit less sharp, because that's basically the only thing that I don't really like about the pen. Otherwise, it's a really nice pen. Black cap here. Golden cap band saying Cleo, made in Germany. I don't know why made is spelled in small letters here, not in a capital M, which I find a bit weird. But anyway, made in Germany, made in English is written in small letters. So grammatically, it's certainly correct. We have then a nice shiny black barrel. We have another gold ring here. And then we have a cap here. Super cool. You unscrew that cap, and then you arrive at a knurled knob here, and that knurled knob is used to operate the piston mechanism inside the pen here. Close that again. As you have just seen, it's a screw-off cap, and it unscrews with, this is one full turn, 1 3/4 of a turn or something like that, which I find still pretty acceptable because it makes it a usable note taker. We have a inner cap in here. You can't really see that in those lighting conditions, but there's like a milkish white inner cap to prevent the nib from drying out. Does an excellent job in doing so. I never picked up that pen and it would have dried out. You can post the pen. It does also post fairly deep down the barrel. Still a really wonderful balance on the pen. The posting does not throw the balance of the pen off at all. As said, it posts fairly deep, halfway down, not halfway down the barrel, it posts fairly deep down the barrel. And as said, a nice balance in hand, but the pen also unposted is really nice and balanced in hand. We have a huge ink window here, and I find that super beautiful. Small gold ring here again. These large ink windows remind me somehow a little bit of the old Pelikan pens, or also these newer, what are they called, like these 101N or whatever they are called, these new Pelikan releases. As a matter of fact, it's super useful because you really have a good check on how much ink you have left. You have then a fairly long section, some threads here. The section is definitely on the thinner side of things. If you like beefy, chunky pens, then that pen here may not really be the pen for you. But since it's smaller down here and gets a bit girthier up here, it's still pretty usable. I normally like chunkier pens. Like the slimmest that I'm comfortable with is like the Pelikan M200 or M400. Let me grab a M400 here real quick to show you a size comparison of the sections, because that may make sense. And we see that at its thickest part, the Cleo Skribent is around the section size. Now this is a real unscientific comparison. It's really just on eyesight. But I'd say up here, which is where I also tend to hold the Skribent, it's about the section diameter of a Pelikan M400. But as said, it's definitely on the slimmer side section wise. We then have a really beautiful 14 karat gold nib with some adornments on here. The Cleo logo saying Cleo 14 karat and then F for fine. A really cool feed down here that sort of looks like a vintage pen feed to me. Of course it's not, it's a modern feed, but just looks like that. It's a small nib. I think it's a number 5 nib. First of all, I thought it's a bit odd on this rather large pen, but I find that aesthetically it really looks very nice in the overall aesthetics and composition of that pen. And that nib, let me tell you that, guys, writes excellently. It does remind me of a Sailor Nib. From the writing feel with the very smooth, a light touch of feedback, this pencilish feedback very much reminds me of a Sailor Nib. That's what I thought of right away when I wrote with that pen. A size comparison to my standard size reference pen, a Lamy Safari, and I think it is pretty safe to say that they're roughly the same length. The Skribent is maybe 3 or 4 millimeters longer. It depends on how you hold it. Yeah, well, it's actually now that I look at it, it's quite a bit longer. Uncap them, oops, and the Skribent is still a wee bit longer. And I mean, I really love this ink window, my friends. This is probably, beside the nib, the most favorite part of that pen for me. Super nice. That's how these two compare capped, and that blind cap here is a really nice gimmick as well, if you ask me. Before the end of the review, we jump into a writing sample of this definitely underrated pen. I said, I don't know why these pens, you almost don't see them. I think the only review of this pen is also made by John of right here pens in the UK. Otherwise, I don't think I've seen a review of the Cleo Skribent. So that might be the second one or the third one. As said, we are going here with the Cleo Skribent with a fine nib. And I think you can maybe hear that pencilish feedback on the page. Very nice. You see the shading in this Kaweco smoky gray. It's a rather wet writer. Puts down a nice amount of ink. I would say that it is rather on the broader side of fine. It's definitely not a really fine nib. Nice, soft, little bit of feedback. Really a nice writer, a pleasure to use, I gotta say. Well, that's that with the review of the Cleo Skribent. I hope that review was useful. I hope I could introduce a less common pen brand to you, maybe expand your horizon a little bit. I thank Cleo for sending me that pen for review, and I'll see you guys at the next review. Bye bye.